Macca's Guides.
Hey everyone, Macca here with a very exciting video. Today I will be unboxing the Xbox Series X. This will be my personal unit going forward. You'll see videos from this thing pretty much from now on. Now this will ship on November 10th and you may be as excited to find out what's inside the box as I am, so I think we should just kind of get started. We'll start with a little bit of a tour of the outside of the box. At the front of the box, what we'll see is an Xbox Series X. They all come with a 1TB SSD and do support 4K 120 frames per second, and we'll be using Xbox Velocity architecture. Now on the sides, you'll just have some artwork of the console itself, some of the kind of marketing stuff that they want to sell you, and on the back you will have the Master Chief with the phrase, "Power your dreams." Now it's a little bit unfortunate that Halo Infinite isn't actually going to be ready in time for the Xbox launch, but we can hopefully expect it sometime next year. On the top we have another console, and on the bottom we just have some kind of legal paperwork stuff. Nothing too exciting. At this point, I think we should just kind of get into the box. Now to get into this box, there are these kind of special pull tabs, so you don't actually need a knife or anything. You just need to separate this pull tab, pull it as elegantly as you can. There are 4 of these tabs. We will then pull these off as well. And we will now very carefully flip the box over. I don't think you're supposed to do it maybe like this, but I want to make sure you guys get a good view. And once it is ready, we just open it up to reveal our Xbox Series X inside. That is pretty exciting. Now, there is a lot of padding in the box, obviously, to protect your console during shipping. And here, nested inside the box, right in the middle, we have our actual console. The entire box itself weighs just over 9 pounds, for anyone who's wondering. Most of that weight is in the console. It's probably like 80% of the weight of the box. And then it's just some other stuff. We're going to obviously take out the Xbox. We're going to not drop it. That would be an awful video. We're going to put it to the side, and we're going to look at some of maybe the less interesting stuff included in the box. So here, we can kind of open this up. We can actually take it out. So we'll take that out. And then this is just more padding and what looks to be some kind of an information slip-in. So we'll take that to the side. And for now, we'll put out this box. That was a very nice unboxing experience. Pretty high-quality box. I know that's a little weird thing, but a lot of people like to know what the unboxing experience is kind of like. Now, inside of this box, we're going to open it up. I already have a good idea of what's in here, but we'll just open it up anyways. So our first cable here is the HDMI, the power cable, the AC adapter. This is what you're going to plug into the wall to actually run the console. And I had a lot of questions actually on Twitter about like how long this cable is, and people always want to know if they can reach their wall plug from their console. So this should hopefully give you a little bit of an idea. And in case you weren't aware, if we fold this in half, it might also give you a good idea. If you weren't aware, the Xbox did ditch the giant power brick back in the first generation of the Xbox One. So this is all you need to power your console. You won't need a power brick or anything, but you definitely want to use this cable and power it up. And then this is the HDMI cable, which probably is roughly the same length. And for the HDMI cable, I know they all look the same. They are not all the same. You definitely want to use the one that's included in the box. This HDMI cable is rated as an HDMI 2.1 cable. I had a cable running for my Xbox that was a really old one for a while actually, and it just doesn't have the throughput to get all of the signal through. If we unwind this, some people want to know exactly how long it is so we can get a rough idea. This one does seem to be a little bit longer than that power cable. If we fold it in half, kind of goes that long. I would say maybe 6 feet if I had to guess. And we'll put these 2 cables, which will be very much necessary, to the side for now. Inside of this box, we have some more paperwork. We also had this kind of slip inside of the box near the bottom. This will just show you all the ports on the back. There is an Xbox app that it says you can download in the App Store or in Google Play Store. It's just a quick start getting started guide, how to get your batteries into the controller, and how to sync the controller to your console. Last but not least, in here we have the new Xbox One controller. There are a couple of small changes. We'll kind of go through them very quickly, and hopefully you get an idea of what's changed. Now, if you do have old Xbox controllers, like I have my Elite over here and a ton of controllers in my office, don't worry, those will still work with your Xbox Series X. However, there are some new controller features available for these kind of new generation of controllers. They are still battery powered, so you will have to buy either a rechargeable battery pack, which Microsoft does have for sale on their store, or you can just use regular old batteries like the 2 Duracell batteries that are included with the controller. As for the controller itself, you'll notice it is very familiar but very different at the same time. Now, at the bottom, they've actually kept the controller the exact same. This is to ensure any accessory compatibility. So if you have a headset or even a chat pad or anything like that that connects to the bottom of the controller, the bottom is the same shape, so everything you had before will work with this going forward. However, they did slim off the corners at the top a little bit to make this more comfortable or ergonomic for people with smaller hands. I've actually been waiting a really long time to get my hands on one of these new controllers because I think I have somewhat bigger hands, and I was a little scared that maybe this new controller would be too small for me. But it actually feels exactly like I would expect an Xbox controller to feel, which is really good. And might even be a little bit easier if you are a claw gamer. I know a couple people are. The other important features you may notice are that there is a textured pattern in the plastic on the handles itself. There is a little bit of a diamond texture pattern on the triggers themselves. The bumpers have seen a little bit of changes. They feel a little bit more clicky, which is good. And the D-pad is also changed. This is kind of the hybrid D-pad that a lot of the Elite controllers had. So you have the 4 directions, but you also have a little bit of a shield face. This allows you to kind of more quickly choose between an exact corner. So if you're, inventory managing in a shooter or an RPG, this design is pretty good. I'm more of a fan of the cross itself, but I think this will serve a lot more different people who play kind of different games. Last but not least, we do actually have a new button on the controller, and that is right in the middle. This is the share button, and when you press this button, it will bring up a menu on your Xbox console that allows you to either take a screenshot of the game you're playing or allows you to record a clip and then share it with your friends and stuff like that. And we will go for the pièce de résistance, the big moment, the chunk itself, the Xbox Series X. It's very hefty, as you can probably tell already. I don't know where the top and the bottom are actually yet. It is a little bit more square tower than you might be used to. Very reminiscent of a PC. This is the bottom, by the way. I can already feel it through the plastic. We will take off this. Power your dreams. If you're on Twitter, by the way, and use hashtag Power Your Dreams, you get a little emoji of the Xbox, which is kind of cool. I'm going to keep that. We're going to try to put the box all back together once I am done here, obviously without the console and stuff. Here, a little bit of tape. High quality paper gets you that tactile feeling, and I will try to unravel it here from the back and give you the money shot of the ports, because I have the front here next to me. We'll pull it out. And there we go. That is the Xbox Series X. Hopefully you get a little bit of an idea of how big it is just sitting here next to me. You have a lot of things to go over. We'll talk about all of them. Now, you can keep this vertically standing like it is right here, right now. But there are also these little pads on the side here that allow you to lay it down if you are interested. And it actually has an Xbox logo up here, just in case you want that. Obviously, you want pretty good airflow. A lot of air comes out the top, comes in from the bottom. So don't choke this thing in an entertainment console with like a window or anything. But that's, pretty obvious stuff, I think. Now, from the front, we have the power button itself. Additionally, on the front, what you'll see is a CD slot, or a disc slot, rather. And this is for your physical game library. If you are unaware, the Xbox Series S does not have a disc slot. That is a fully digital console. This, you'll obviously be able to play digital games, but if you have those physical games or you like to collect discs, you have that there. Now above that we have a small button right here, and that's just going to be to eject your disc if you want to do it through a physical button. You can eject it through the actual dashboard of the console, so that's kind of up to you. Now the next feature I want to talk about is this dark black button down here, and this is actually a really cool button that you may not think does as much as it does. Now that button is going to be used to sync your Xbox Series X or S or old controllers to the actual console itself. Nothing revolutionary, we've seen that button on a lot of consoles, but this actually has an IR blaster inside of it, so an infrared blaster, and that allows for compatibility of any remotes you have that would work with your old Xbox. They will now work with your new Xbox because they go through infrared. And then down below in this bottom corner we have a USB slot. Plug it in to charge your controller, charge your phone if you want, or get some expandable storage if you're not going to be using the expandable storage slot in the back. Now I'm going to do a little quick tour. I told you about these 4 little rubber stoppers on the side if you want to lay the console down. For the bottom itself, you do see there is like a little platform here. It is rubberized, so it shouldn't slide around too much. And another really cool feature is the top. Hopefully the camera angle shows that. You can see a little bit of green coming out through the grate. It's kind of layered underneath the black, which is very cool in my opinion, and hopefully you agree as well. The last thing we're going to talk about a little bit is the back. There are a lot of ports here that you may be very interested in. Now the first thing that might not stand out is actually kind of built into the sticker right here, and it's just a little bit of a hole, and this is basically a little slot made for a Kensington lock, which is kind of a universal lock that is made for electronics. You may see ports like this on laptops, sometimes even TVs, and what this allows you to do is to buy a universal kind of lock, similar to a bike lock. It's a piece of metal that goes into this hole, and then you can lock it into place and tie that kind of lock to an actual item, like the desk or to the wall, and this basically just ensures that someone won't steal the console. Additionally here we have 2 more USB slots. We can use them for accessories, charging, and they are super speed accessory slots as well. We have our Ethernet port if we want a physical wired connection for our internet. We have a AC power adapter, so that cable I showed off at the beginning of the video is going to go in here in order to power the console itself. We have an HDMI out, which is how you're going to get signal from the console to whatever screen you have. This is an HDMI 2.1 port. You can use anything lower than that, but that's what it's going to go up to. At this moment, there are like 2 or 3 TVs on the market that will go up to HDMI 2.1. So if you have one of those, you're probably very happy, but likely you have something a little bit lower than that. If you do want to get full 4K and 120 frames per second at the same time, you will need to have HDMI 2.1 compatibility. And last but not least, we have our storage expansion slot, and I will quickly reach over. You may need to grab one of these if you want. I made a whole video about this that explained exactly what it is and what it does, so I'll have a separate video about that. And I will also have, I'll make a video in the future about how fast games load off this, how fast you can transfer between this and the console's interior and stuff like that. So I'll have a little bit of a detailed breakdown if you want to catch another video. But that will go into this slot if you want to expand your storage and have the fast storage that is compatible with Xbox Series X and S games. If you use the USB, you basically get a lower version of speed, and you can only run back compat games off that, or just store your games but can't play it off of them. And that more or less is a tour of the Xbox Series X. This big chonker will be taking up a place on my desk for the unforeseeable future, the next couple of years, I hope. And I hope you are as excited to open yours and get your hands on some games as I am. That's what I'm going to do right now. Go ahead and plug it in. I will have a ton of videos about this console available on my channel in the coming future. I'll be talking about load times, graphical updates, changes to games, anything you can really think of. I'll do a demo on Quick Resume, so you can find all of that coverage on my channel. Although usually what you'll find me doing is making achievement guides, walkthroughs, collectible guides, stuff like that. So feel free to subscribe for more content from me if that interests you. Thank you so much for watching. A special thank you to everyone on Patreon for supporting the show. and hopefully I see you soon. Don't forget to drop a like and share this video with a friend. Peace.